Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News and your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with Monday Night Raw, which aired live last night on the USA Network from the SAP Center in San Jose, California. Bobby Lashley successfully defended the United States title against Seth Rollins in the opening match of the show, pinning Rollins after a spear. Rollins was distracted by the emergence of Matt Riddle, allowing Lashley to get the win.
Out in WWE. No! The man he had thought was in his rearview mirror. It's Riddle headed to the ring.
Not headed to the ring, but certainly Riddle's got Rollins' attention.
Out a spear. 1, 2, 3. The champion retains. Here is your winner, and still the United States champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Bayley defeated Alexa Bliss in the main event of the show using interference from women's tag team champions Dakota Kai and Io Sky. A brawl broke out in the ring after the match, also involving Asuka and Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Bayley, Kai, and Sky stood triumphant over the babyfaces as the show went off the air. Dexter Lumis emerged from under the canvas during the Miz TV interview segment, attempting to drag the Miz through the canvas and under the ring before being fought off by the Miz's associate Tommaso Ciampa. In other match results, the Brawling Brutes defeated the Street Profits when Ridge Holland pinned Angelo Dawkins. Judgment Day defeated Rey Mysterio and Matt Riddle when Finn Balor pinned Mysterio, and Kevin Owens defeated Austin Theory. In other WWE news, the double steel cage match known as War Games will be a part of Survivor Series on November 26th at the TD Garden Center in Boston, according to an announcement yesterday from WWE. There will be a men's and women's War Games match, but specific participants from Raw and SmackDown have not yet been announced. War Games had previously been used for WWE's NXT brand annually starting in 2017, but this is the first time it's being brought to a main roster WWE premium live event. In an interview yesterday with The Ringer, Paul Levesque revealed that the War Games matches will not be built around Raw vs. SmackDown competition, as recent Survivor Series editions have been, but will instead be more storyline driven, in keeping with the earlier Survivor Series tradition of opposing teams of heels and babyfaces. Said Levesque, "I still look at it as a traditional component to Survivor Series in there, because it's large teams of people competing. We just upped the ante a little bit with War Games and made it evolve." The creation of then Jim Crockett Promotions booker Dusty Rhodes, War Games debuted in 1987 and was used for years by WCW. It became part of WWE's intellectual property through the company's purchase of WCW in 2001. In AEW news, MJF appeared on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani yesterday and addressed several issues related to his current deal with AEW and his future with the company.
Here's the deal. A lot of people think that I'm leaning towards one place or the other. Here's what I'm leaning towards. Money. That's all I care about. That's what I live for. That's what I live and die by, is that little green, right? So I go where the money's at. Whoever's going to offer me the most amount of money is where I'm going to go. That could be anywhere. Hell, if there's some financial backer out there that wants to start his own wrestling company and use me as the figurehead, that's where I'll go. It's that simple. That's all I care about is money.
I was just curious, when you came back, did you come back with a new deal?
I most certainly did with no contract extension, because once again, love Tony Khan to death. You're my BFF, but kind of got the man by the balls.
Okay.
Because I'm a draw.
Okay.
And I'm only 26.
Helwani questioned MJF regarding the rumors of backstage conflict between him and Tony Khan over money, including the rumor that he had threatened to take a plane out of Las Vegas hours before the Double or Nothing pay-per-view last May.
Okay, were you on a flight? Maybe?
I cannot confirm or deny there being a plane ticket. What I will say is this. I'm a businessman. I do what I have to do in order to ensure that what I need gets done. It got done. I'm back. I'm making a stupid, absurd amount of money now. And I didn't have to sign a contract extension.
Wow.
Yeah.
MJF maintained that his pay raise came without a contract extension and that his current contract is still up in 2024, and alluded to a potential bidding war that may occur at the time involving AEW, WWE, and other companies.
Obviously, everything that happened recently would be
what I will say
a
is
distant
this.
memory.
What I will say is this. If I stay, you will know that I think the word I would use is grotesque. I was paid a grotesque amount of money. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be an ugly battle. And again, it could be any company. I will literally go to any company except New Japan. I'll go to any company if they're willing to pay up the most dough. Fact.
MJF returned to action at AEW All Out on September 4th after nearly 4 months off television following the alleged money dispute with Khan. The live gate for tomorrow's AEW Dynamite Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York has already surpassed the gate for last year's Grand Slam, according to a tweet from Tony Khan yesterday afternoon. Khan also claimed that the gate is close to $1 million, which would be the first time AEW reached that number for a weekly TV taping. Nevertheless, despite the gate figure as quoted by Khan, the actual number of tickets sold so far has been lagging a little bit behind last year's 20,177 seat sellout, with 12,471 tickets distributed as of last Saturday, according to WrestleTix. Leila Grey revealed in an interview with Dai Sporting Network last Friday that she's been officially signed to an AEW contract since July. Grey had been appearing on AEW TV as a member of Jade Cargill's Baddies entourage and wrestling primarily on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation throughout 2021 and 2022, but whether she was still part-time with AEW or signed to a contract was not officially known until now. The interview with Grey was conducted Friday night at an independent show for Maryland Championship Wrestling in Joppa, Maryland, where she appeared in a four-way for the MCW Women's Championship. In ratings news, WWE SmackDown Live on Fox Friday night took home the number one position on network TV in the 18 to 49 demographic for the 10th week in a row, according to Showbuzz Daily. The show, featuring appearance by Logan Paul, drew an average of 2.212 million viewers, down from the 2.367 million brought in for the post-Clash at the Castle episode the week before. Despite the number one position in the demo, the .50 rating in the demo was actually down 12.28%, from the previous week's .57 rating, according to WrestleNomics. SmackDown came in 6th in overall TV network viewership on the evening. AEW Rampage, which aired later on Friday evening on TNT, brought in an average of 470,000 viewers, according to Showbuzz Daily, up from 429,000 viewers for the post-All Out show the week before. The rating in the key demographic was .14, even with the previous week's episode, and representing 183,000 cable viewers. The show's ranking for the night in the demo was number 14 in the cable top 150, up from the previous week's number 16. In Peacock and WWE Network news, WWE has added more classic content to its streaming platform, consisting of 6 1998 house shows from Ontario, Canada. One is a show from the Cops Coliseum in Hamilton, headlined by WWF champion Hulk Hogan and Bam Bam Bigelow taking on Ted DiBiase and Virgil, while the other 5 cards are from Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens and feature main events of Andre the Giant versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Randy Savage defending the WWF title against DiBiase, with another main event defending against Dino Bravo, Hogan vs. King Haku, and Hogan vs. the Big Boss Man. An update on Patrick Clark, previously known in WWE and NXT as the Velveteen Dream. Clark's September 28th court hearing in Seminole County, Florida, on charges of battery and trespassing has been canceled, according to a report yesterday from PW Insider. The case was deemed unsuitable for prosecution by prosecutors who did not believe they had enough evidence to convict, so the case was closed. Clark was alleged to have punched and bitten an employee at a Florida gym on August 20th, according to court documents originally obtained by TMZ. His subsequent arrest caused a violation of an existing probation from a November 2021 arrest in Almonte Springs for possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia and destroying, altering, or concealing physical evidence. Clark had pleaded not guilty to the battery and trespassing charges on September 9th and was released on September 13th on a $1,200 bond after a 25-day incarceration. WWE Hall of Famer and 7-time women's champion Trish Stratus underwent an emergency appendectomy last week, according to a post on her Instagram account on Sunday. Stratus reported experiencing pain in her lower abdomen for several days before driving herself to the emergency room and getting diagnosed with appendicitis. She reported that her recovery has been manageable. Turning to Japan, Stardom's 5-Star Grand Prix 2022 continued yesterday at Nagoya's International Conference Hall. Red block winners were Maika, Azumi, Tam Nakano, Risa Sera, and Utami Hayashishida, while in the blue block, Suzu Suzuki picked up her 4th straight victory after starting the tournament 0-3. There's still a 3-way tie at the top of the red block standings, while Hazuki still narrowly leads the blue block with 14 points. 2 shows remain before the tournament's final night on October 1st in Western Tokyo. Also yesterday, Dragon Gate ran their Dangerous Gate show at the Otis City General Gymnasium and streamed on their Dragon Gate Network on-demand service. In the main event, Yuki Yoshioka defeated Ita with a frog splash in 24:45 to make the second defense of the company's top championship, the Open the Dream Gate title. Also on the show, Masaki Mochizuki, Susumu Mochizuki, and Mochizuki Jr. made the second defense of their 6-man titles, retaining the Open the Triangle Gate title, defeating Koji Ishinriki, Don Fujii, and Ishin Ishihashi. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure that you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.